just let nature do its thing. You know, a lot of people think it's big insects or something else, but it's really the small stuff, the microorganisms, the FBI even, fungus, bacteria, insects. Maybe we'll break you down and decompose this stuff. You know, just quickly. No. What's that? You wait. Oh, 6 to 9 months? Can't be waiting around here that long. Filter on tonight. Oh, well, in that case, composting is pretty simple stuff, but it requires some water, some light, and definitely some air. In order to get air, the pile you got to turn and pick it up, flip it over, and everything inside can live and decompose all the material. Yeah, you can see the piles as we progress along in time, where they're raw materials and just feedstocks as they come from the homes, and then we break all the way down until we get to this last part. We're almost finished. Looks good. Thanks. Hey, you can still use these, right? Yeah, sometimes we get some plastics and other things that we have to screen out. If it doesn't compost, we have to screen it out. Plastic, metals, or glass have to come out of the pile. We don't want that, black gold finished product. The compostable forks and knives, those are a great idea. They don't break down fast enough in our piles, so we have to screen them out too. Unlike your home compost pile, we have so much volume here, and we generate so much heat, up to 130 degrees for at least 2 weeks, that it destroys the invasive weed seeds. So this compost is really safe for your garden. The last step in the process is to deliver the finished compost back to the garden. Eureka! I don't. The black gold. Wait, that goes in my garden? Eureka! Eureka! Eureka, black gold. Black gold, black gold. Eureka, black gold. Eureka! It's only getting old because there's always been known what Eureka black gold gonna get in your soul.
I forgot to mention a couple important things. The filmmaker for both videos is Rich Hoffman, our local filmmaker who lives right here in Media. Very talented. And I also forgot to mention that Media Borough EAC is an incredibly important part of this whole process of getting the compost program going. And Eddie Janella, who's on the EAC. And that's it.
So we thought we'd end on a nice up note. I guess we have a little bit more time about, oops.
Maybe a couple questions,
Okay,
and then we can
a couple
mingle.
of questions. Anyone have anything that they'd like to ask our panel? Yeah, David.
I have a question. You mentioned that that plastic bags are not recyclable, and of course they are not in with the mixed recycling. What about the plastic bag recycling bins that are offered at the supermarkets and so on? Does that actually get recycled if you bring them there?
Yeah, that's very case by case, so I can't say for certain. There are plastic bag recycling collections at many grocery stores or other locations. Not all of them actually get recycled. Some of them get turned into, I've heard they get turned into uniforms or into park benches, but we use far more plastic bags than we have need for park benches or new uniforms. So a lot of these plastic bags end up going to a landfill or an incinerator. So it's not necessarily getting recycled if you put that bag in a collection.
Can you clarify a question about incineration? For example, what does Europe do? Do they have incinerators in Europe?
I mean, yeah, there's more incineration in Europe for sure, but they deal with the same problems in terms of environmental justice issues. Incinerators are almost always located in communities of color, and the impacts are disproportionately, realized by that community that it's located in. So there's no way to have an incinerator that's not polluting the air and the water. And then also the other big thing with incinerators is that 30% of the material that you send to an incinerator turns into very toxic ash that needs to be buried somewhere. So it's really, there's a lot of problematic issues with incineration when you look at the long-term impacts of that disposal method.
All right, Andy?
I agree with most of the things that you're saying, but you are creating by not using the incinerator and putting an ash fill in Ridley Creek State Park. You're creating a lot more problems because you have to take the trash 50 miles to Berks County, and their system, at least right now, is very weak, and it's generating methane, which is a whole lot more of a problem than to burn the trash. I'm no friend of incineration, but that is the environmentally best way, in my opinion, and of course the cheaper way than what zero waste is proposing. I would put a large composting, that little site that they've got for media, that's peanuts in its size and in the equipment that you need to use to really make a compost. Swarthmore Providence has equipment that with their scarabs that can do a decent job. I have written to the solid waste department and DEP and even the EPA recently. Hopefully they're going to pay attention to it. But I'm all for recycling, but it's got to pay.
Thank you for your
In
comments.
the second quarter of last year, they got, this is for the Northeast area, they got just short of $170 for bundled recyclables. And now it's down to under 70. As I said, I like lots of things that zero waste is doing, but you can't, unless you're going to ask the citizens to pay extra money to recycle, plus Covanta will, they are now recycling aluminum cans as well as first. So the one area that I think the county really could help out if we continue to use Covanta or not, I think it's good to get the glass out. And there's a company in Eddystone who will take that glass. So that's what I would do.
Thank you for your comments. I think one thing to address that I completely forgot to mention in my presentation, which is one of the biggest things that we're trying to do in the county, is I believe at the end of March, we had actually applied for a grant at the EPA to try to have a commercial size composting facility in Delaware County. So we recognize, like you said, Linville right now is one of the only places in the area that you can compost, and just recognizing that that's not large enough to meet the needs of the county. So if awarded, we would be looking to have an additional 5 to 10 acres of land the county already owns converted into a commercial grade composting facility for use from municipalities, commercial businesses, residents, all kinds of industries. And we'll find out about that in October, so fingers crossed.
I don't know the percentage, but the generation of energy from an incinerator is dirtier than coal. So I think a lot of the problem with the analysis that's done is that you're saying, oh, we're displacing the need to burn fossil fuels for energy, but really the direction we're going is to renewables, right? So.
Apparently a lot of power is generated from incineration. It seems like the media makes it sound like almost all of our trash is being burnt from incineration, and then I hear someone who works for the city that it's about 25%.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine that all the food waste in the incinerator, all the glass, there's a lot of inert stuff that's not getting to the BTU levels that's really generating the energy that you expect.
You think it's better than just sending it all to landfill?
No, I think it's better to go to a landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to get the organics out for sure, and then go to a landfill where it's not going to generate methane, anything that's not recyclable or compostable, but you need to get the organics out, absolutely.
Europe doesn't have any landfills, right?
Sorry?
Europe doesn't have room for landfills, Europe doesn't landfill, right?
Yeah, there's the density and they don't have space
I
for it.
understand, for example, like batteries, Duracell battery. What do you do with your Duracell battery?
So just because we have to keep our lecture and our recording in a set amount of time, I think this is a wonderful discourse. I encourage you all to continue it. We're not going to turn the lights off right away. I basically want to thank everybody and then encourage you to come up and just watch your step while you do so. Don't end this conversation. The respectful discourse, the amount of stakeholders, the thinking about this subject is extremely important. So I encourage you to come forward, have discussions, work on progress, because that's the only way we're going to work ourselves out of these jams that we've been working ourselves in for so long. So in any event, please come back next month for our lecture about women in science from Dr. Roger Turner at the Science Institute. And I just wanted to thank everybody for coming tonight. Sorry to cut the discussion short, but we'll be here all night. It's such a weighty subject. So thank you to our speakers. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. Please stick around, have some juice, have a cookie. Feel free to hang out.